Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Marcus Speaks Live. I don't know why that's doing that, which means nothing else like that is going to work. So, I know that now. Anyway, people, welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live, the very podcast that gives you trending topics and other random things. We will be going through a whole list of stuff tonight. Hopefully, I have the time to go through all of them. If not, I'll just save some stuff and port it over to next week's show. But, man, what I'll do first, I'll get through some promotions, So, people, as I said, welcome to Marcus Speaks Live. If you could, please like this video, share this video, comment in the live chat. I will be talking back to you guys. I will be bringing your comments on the show. Just like you see what's in front of you right now in the lower third. And if you could, please subscribe to this here channel. It's right there. Should be over here somewhere, or I'm sorry, down there somewhere. So, with that being said, people, please don't be shy. Write something in the live chat because I will be communicating back to you guys. Once you have already subscribed to this here channel, or if you're about to do that, also please do me a favor. If you haven't already downloaded the Rumble app, download it as we speak. And then once you do that, come back to the show, go to the description box, find the Rumble link in the description box, hit that Rumble link, follow me over on Rumble. I would like to start streaming over on Rumble. I believe I need some more subscribers over there, so please do me that favor, please. Every Friday I do this here game stream. I do this here podcast. Every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please know your time zone because it's only Midwest time is an hour off. Mountain time's an hour off from that. So you got 6, 5, and then 4. No, I'm sorry. I got that all wrong. 7, 6, and 5. So I should be on at 5 o'clock over on West Coast time. So anyway, people, along with my topics, if you would like to call in with the call-in number or hit the link that is pinned in the live chat, do me a favor. It'd be much better if you hit the link because I went over the podcast I had a couple weeks ago with King Ty, I think his name is. What is wrong with my goddamn feet? All right, y'all, give me a second, please. All right, I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, hit the link. I went over the podcast I did with King Ty. My audio went low when I used the phone, so I'm gonna have to work something out with that in the time being. But if you could just refrain from using the number and hit the link. There is a I'll go over that in just a minute. So, like I said, hit the link. Don't call the call-in number tonight because, like I said, when I use the phone number, it lowers my tone, and for some reason, I can't use the phone number with the Chrome app, and it's a Google app, so I have no idea why. But what was I just saying? Oh, people. There's rules with hitting the link, so if you could, please, you must be on camera once you come back here to the backstage. All right. Once you come on camera, I'll see who you are. Do me a favor, here in the backstage, you'll see the private chat is open. Read over everything that's in the private chat and give me your name and your answer, and then once I'm ready to bring you up, I'll let you know, turn your camera off, or are you ready to come up if you want your camera on, and then we'll go from there. All right. Rule number 2, if you don't want to be on camera, that is fine. Like I said, just give me your answer and I'll accommodate you from there. And please, rule number 3, please mute all background noise. Use wired headphones if you can for a better audio experience for myself and the viewers. With that being said, went over that. Yeah, if you have me turned up or on your phone or on a tablet computer, wherever you're watching me from, either turn it down, turn the volume down, or mute it, or turn me completely off, so when you come back here, I don't have feedback or whatever, okay? And lastly, please, if you could like this video, subscribe if you're new here, hit that bell icon all to get all my notifications once I go live and when I post a video, as well as comment in the live chat, like I said. And please share this video to your social medias and friends and family. So, people, usually what I like to do here every week is I like to, tell you guys about my show. And what I like to do on my show, I like to play videos and I like to read articles of the topics that I'm going over tonight. So my show consists of my own opinions, some articles, and some videos. Not all in that order. But all articles have been altered from its original form to help with plagiarism, as well as videos are accredited, as well as articles are accredited in the description box. The materials I'll be using, I don't own. I just want to get that out the way. And as well as when using these videos, I have to follow not just the YouTube policies and standards, but I also have to follow the law. So with that being said, if you guys don't know what fair use is, this is what fair use is. Okay, that's not working. I forgot all about that. So this is what fair use is. Warning: federal law allows blah, 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 blah. Let me read that over. Hold on. Let's do that over again. Warning: federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. Let me bring that out a little bit more. This is called fair use. And is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. So everybody, that is fair use. Hope you guys are going to enjoy tonight's show, because I got a whole lot of stuff going on. So what I'll do, I'll turn off the theme music, turn on some real music. I don't know if this is loud or not. Let me turn my volume up, because I monitor my show as I'm going. All right, that's not too loud. All right, people, y'all ready? Yes, I'm ready. This is a bad song to play. Let me skip to the next one. All right, that's good. That's what I'm talking about right there. Now, people, what I like to do before I start the show, I like to do a little thing called small banter. Small banter consists of a small topic that I'll cover just as a warm up, so I can get my, my pipes warmed up. Pause. Get my pipes warmed up. Pause. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, people, it's some soft parenting going on these days. I, for some reason, I don't know what happened between the boomers and the older Gen Xers who had kids, which was us, which was myself. I don't know what happened. By having us and, well, the boomers had Generation X and boomers had the millennials, as well as the older Gen Xers had some millennials and, what is it, zillennials? Not zillennials. The yeah, I think it's no, not zillennials. Whatever the other ones are called after millennials. I think it's Gen Z. Yeah, I think it's Gen Z zillennials. So yeah. So I came across this video when I was on Twitter the other day, and I was disturbed. And you'll see why when I go and play this video, which I'm about to bring up. I didn't understand why this mother was so calm about what her son did to the house, and why like there wasn't a child's body laying somewhere, or there was like blood streaks on the wall from a severe ass whooping. Because I know if I would have done this when I was growing up, I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. Let's get into today's random top. I mean, small banter topic. Y'all think that's the end of all of this? No, it gets worse. It gets way worse.
Take the baby back. Mercy.
I can't wait to tell y'all what this is for when this video's done. I can't wait to tell you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. My explain this to my job. Explain it to my job. Oh god. It really sucks that
All right, y'all ready to know what this was for? Because this woman punished her son and took his phone away. What the fuck is going on in today's society that a kid gets so upset that he destroys the entire house because he can't get his way? Now, I don't know if this young man's father is in his life, so I won't chuck it up to that. So, I'm gonna share a story about myself when I was his age. This is a 12-year-old boy that did this. I want to put that out there. When I was 12 years old, I was I was in the 7th grade. But before that, well, probably about 10, 11, I wanted I wanted something out of my closet. And it was a particular shirt that I had a year prior. I was a big boy. Like, I was tall and I was wide. So for that shirt to be in my closet would have been like, what the fuck? I wouldn't have been able to fit it any damn way. Right? I scoured my closet in my clothes drawers where my shirts were for this shirt. So the shirt was it was a regular t-shirt like this, but at the neck from like mid chest on up was a zipper. Like I could zip it up or zip it down. I love this shirt. Thing is, I hadn't worn the shirt in so long. When I thought about the shirt, I was like, "Oh shit! I forgot I had that shirt. I should go and wear that shirt tonight when I go out with my homeboys." So I run to my house and I come in my room. Like I said, I'm scouring my closet and my clothes drawers where my shirts were or whatever. Couldn't find it. So um I go to my mom's room and I search her drawers to see, maybe she took the shirt, forgot to, give it back. So I'm looking, on her nightstand, looking on her dresser. I looked in her drawers to see if anything, I could find was in there. Checked her closet, nothing. So I'm like, okay, where's this damn shirt? So I run downstairs to, cause the house, well, the townhouse I was living in at the time, it had an upstairs, it had the ground floor, then it had a basement. So I ran down to the basement to see if maybe you know it's in like an old clothes box that my mom packed up for us or whatever that we weren't wearing. So went downstairs, I saw that there was a box marked Marcus or whatever, old clothes. I go through it, couldn't find nothing. I said, damn, where's that shirt? So my mom finally comes home. I said, Mom, do you remember that shirt, that black shirt I had with the zipper at the neck, and it had that like green bar that went across the chest? She said, "Boy, I been got rid of that shirt." I said, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "I got rid of that shirt last year when you couldn't fit it." I said, "Mom, I could fit it." She said, "Marcus, it was coming up to the bottom of your stomach," and I kind of had like a little pudge when I was younger. So I wasn't pudgy, just my stomach was a little pudgy. So I'm like, Mom, why'd you get rid of that shirt? I like that shirt. She was like, you couldn't fit it. Get out of my face, right? So I get upset. I run up to my room, I stomp up the stairs. I slam my door, which I should have never done. And I looked at the wall. I mean, I looked at the door and I punched it. So it was a wooden wall. It was like a wood grain wall, or like a plywood wall, whatever. I mean a plywood door. Like the inside had like cardboard and shit in it. So I punch it, pow, left this big ass hole in it. My mom heard it. She comes storming up the steps. She bangs on my door. Open up this goddamn door. So I unlock the door. She opens it, and then she comes in the room, closes the door halfway. Sees what I've done. My mom can commenced on whooping my motherfucking ass. I mean, this was probably one of the worst ass whoopings I had got at that time, next to two others that happened like 2 years before. Oh yeah, when I was in fourth grade, I got two of the worst ass whoopings in the world. Like Jesus couldn't have saved me from those ass whoopings. That's how bad those ass whoopings were. So I got my ass whooped. Now, when I was looking at that video, I said, "Damn, what would I have gotten if I would have did that to the house?" Right? Well, you can leave ass whoopings out of it because I probably would have been 6 feet deep. Did you see what that boy did? He broke the countertop. He broke mirrors. He broke televisions. he trashed the house. Not only that, he messes up the laptop that his mother needed for work. So now she has to take that into work and explain why that laptop looks like that. After the company probably put out maybe like $1,000 or so for it with protection. You know what I'm saying? They probably got protection on it. Just in case something happened, they can, get a new one in no time. So now she has to go into work and basically tell them why it looks like that. Not only that, she has to figure out a way on how to tell her landlord why she needs new doors, new mirrors, new toilets, new countertops, possibly new sinks. She has to shell out money probably to get new beds. Well, I think all the beds were intact. Hold on, let me go back. Let's look at that video again. He tipped over the refrigerator with all the food in it. My God, he pulled the damn oven from out of the from off the wall. What else? Broke the countertop. What else did he do? He messed up. Oh, he broke the mirror closet. The mirror door closet. He was throwing cups from the cupboard. Let's keep going. He didn't trash the table set. Trashed the TV. He broke a glass end table or coffee table. Let's keep going. And end tables too. Looks like he broke the windows. What else did he break? Or destroy? He destroyed the baby toy. God damn. Woo! I don't even got kids and my blood is boiling right now. He broke mirrors. What else did he break? Whatever that is, looked like he broke that. Broke TVs, a mirror in whomever's room that is. Probably his sister's.
Take the baby bag.
Put a hole in the door. Now, my hole wasn't that big. Hold on, pause on that. My bad. There's the hole in the door. Now, my door didn't look like that. My door was an actual stained plywood door with like the cardboard in the middle or whatever. Yeah, my door, it was treated wood, so the wood was hard. So when I punched it and put that hole in it, it kind of more dented it than anything. But it my fist was able to get through some of it to where I could see the cardboard in it. But I didn't do nothing like that. He broke that mirror. What else he break? Broke the toilet. That nigga done broke the toilet.
Mercy.
Broke the mirror. Both mirrors in there.
Oh my God.
Imagine all that water coming out of the toilet and shit. All that water. Now you got water damage. Not only do you got property damage, but you got water damage now too. That's leaking to the unit underneath of it. So now it's possible that their neighbors downstairs might have to move out because of mold uh, being put in the walls because of the water. What else happened? Her room looks like it's unscathed, the mother's room, but some shit still got broke, like the TV. Laptop.
It's to my job. It's to my job. Oh God.
It's possible she could get fired for that for property damage. Possibility. Looks like he hit the mirrors a couple times, broke the mirror. Damn, that was her bathroom.
It really sucks.
All right. So this is her explaining completely what happened. It's an update of the mother of the kid who destroyed their home speaks out, says her son is mentally ill. Okay.
That I have to make a video to prove that this damage that was done to my life is real, and that my friend betrayed me and sent this video out to the public of something so hurtful. But it's real. The damage is real. It's, the glass is gone, the broken glass is cleaned up, but the damage is still here. It's still here. Things that have to be. This is an apartment. I have to fix this. And it's not funny. My son is 6 foot tall. He's not 12. He's 15.
Okay, he's
15. And
15.
he's 270 pounds. So no, I can't.
270 pounds. 15 to 270 pounds at 15. I was 220 at 15. I was 220 up until I got out of high school. I gained like 20 pounds, 15 pounds after high school. Within like 11 months, I gained 15 pounds. But, whatever. So he's 15, 270 pounds. Shorty looked like a good $180. And you a mother at that, so your upper arm strength is a little more than much. You know what I'm saying? It looked like you a single mom at that. So, your upper arm strength is a little better than the average woman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure you could have done at least something. At least something. But let's continue with her story to see what else she has to say. I don't want to just sit here and judge the entire time.
Spank him, and he's mentally ill. So, yeah, it's real. So I guess everybody's saying they want to know who it is. Okay, so now you know it's me. It's me. It's my son. It's my house. No, he's not 12. It wasn't over a cell phone. He's 15. He's 6 foot tall, and he's 270 pounds. So no, I could have.
Oh, wait. You said 15. You said 15 first, then you said 16. Hold on. How old is he?
15. He's 6 foot tall, and he's 270 pounds. So no, I could have spanked him. We try to clean up as much, but yeah, the damage is real. The window is still broken out. The marble is still broken. Not going away immediately.
He broke a marble counter? How the hell he do that? Okay, if he is mentally ill, then I can understand. I can understand, he got that, that, you know what I'm saying? Put an R in front of this word I'm about to say. He got that E-tard strength. So, you know what I mean?
So, I don't know what anybody wants from me. My son is mentally ill. I've dealt with this for 15 years. And it just sucks that I trusted someone and they sent the video out. And now everyone is looking at my hurt.
All right. Now, I don't doubt that her son is mentally ill. I don't doubt that. Nor do I judge that she has a mentally ill son. But what I will say is this: when I was growing up, I had a mentally challenged cousin, and my aunt told me, "Don't treat him any different than you treat any of these other kids out here. He's just like you." So we treated him exactly like he was normal. He had a little tirade. He got his ass whooped too. So it's like, people might be judging like, well, that's terrible that someone put their hands on a mentally challenged child. ETAR strength is real. That's all I gotta say. ETAR strength is real. If you've never been pinned down by an ETAR, your life flashes before your eyes because they're unpredictable. You don't know what the fuck they about to do. You know what I mean? So as she didn't as she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? With the house looking the way that it looks. But look, all I gotta say is this, lady, a little ass whooping goes a long way. That's all I gotta say. That's the reason why I'm here. You know what I mean? I fucked up once in my life. Haven't fucked up since. Haven't fucked up since. But that concludes tonight's small banter. Let's get into the main topic of the night. The topic that everyone has been waiting for, the topic that everyone is talking about. So, people, tonight's main topic's overview is jaw-dropping documentary leaves 90s kids stunned. So, I'm a 90s kid, and I was stunned by what I saw because preferably because excuse me, I haven't had enough sleep all week. I am so sorry that I just yawned. Um so if you guys don't know, didn't see the thumbnail that I put up for the show, I am talking about, let's do side by side, that's better. I am talking about Quiet on the Set, the Darkside of Kids TV. So, if you guys haven't watched this documentary can be seen on Prime Video, on the ID channel, and as well as Max. You can watch it on. So it's a 4-part docuseries, and it basically goes over the some stuff that was going on in the realm of Nickelodeon. So I'm a Nickelodeon kid. I'm not a Disney kid. I wasn't a Disney kid growing up. I was a Nickelodeon kid. I was basically there when the channel was basically getting its best shows. I believe Nickelodeon was started in like 1973 or something like that. And they didn't really get like programming the way that they had until the 90s. So you had Rugrats, you had Doug, you had something Freshman. I forgot what that show was called. Oh, Welcome Freshman. Solution Shorts, Hey Dude, all that, Roundhouse, Ren and Stimpy. It was a lot of shows. It was a lot of shows that I grew up on. So this particular documentary revolves around the Dan Schneider shows. The Dan Schneider shows that he wrote, the Dan Snyder shows he produced, and the Dan Schneider shows that he created, and all of the above. So, quite on the set, the Darkside of Kids TV goes inside some of the toxic culture of children's television shows that young actors and others endured in the 90s and 2000s, including many series produced by Dan Schneider. It is also features interviews with former actors, writers, and crew members from hit Nickelodeon shows like All That, The Amanda Show, Zoe 101, iCarly, Victorious, Sam and Cat, Henry Danger, and Game Shakers, as they detail the alleged disturbing environment behind the scenes. Schneider left the network in 2018 after an internal investigation into his alleged verbal, abusive, and demanding behaviors on set. Schneider has denied allegations of misconduct. Here are the six. Well, it's really five I picked, so I should have changed that. The six most shocking revelations from the docuseries. So I have this in like tiers. So let's get to the start of all of everything. All That alums Brian Hearn and Giovanni Samuel, sexy ass, recall traumatic experiences. So these two actors, they were on All That, the reinvention of All That they were on. So all that alums, I'm sorry, should Nickelodeon. We all know what Nickelodeon is. Anyway, uh, all that alums Brian Hearn and Giovanni Samuels found their experiences working as of Nickelodeon's few young black actors in the early 2000s be traumatic. For Hearn, and he's my age, I didn't even know that, so that's crazy. Uh, I thought he was younger than me, like years younger than me, but I guess he's my age. Um, so for Hearn, he cringed at the memory of being cast on the sketch comedy show in what he believes were racially stereotyped roles as a rapper named Little Fetus and a teen who sold cookies in a way reference to drug dealing. So the Little Fetus character, I thought when the reiteration of the show came out and they had the new cast come on and do characters and stuff like that, I felt the little fetus character was actually funny. I actually did. Like, I'm not just saying that to be funny. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to create shock value. No, I thought that the I thought that it was funny only because when I was 12, 11 or 12, some of the first movies on DVD that I had was this stupid ass sci-fi movie called what was it, Viper versus Cobra, and another one, I forgot what the other one was called, but we also had Baby Boy on DVD, so I watched Baby Boy. So in the beginning of the movie, if y'all remember, Baby Boy was in well, Tyrese Gibson's character, Jody, was basically portrayed as a baby in the womb. So when I saw the character Little Fetus, that's what I thought of was Baby Boy. You know what I'm saying? He's in the womb. He's a rapper. It's funny. You know what I'm saying? His mom has to go around and do an ultrasound on her stomach for him to perform. I thought that was hilarious growing up. So when we come to the docuseries, uh, Brian, he, by him looking over this as a grown man, and it being 20 years removed, he's basically like, yo, that was inappropriate. Like, and plus, with the sketch that was also spoke about of him selling Girl Scout cookies, but in a way as if he's a drug dealer, I can understand how he feels about that as well. Because I don't particularly remember that sketch at all, but when it comes to how someone feels about how they are portrayed and stuff like that, I can understand. So I believe I had a video waiting and queued up. So let's get to that, and then we'll talk over the video a little bit more. I mean the article a little bit more.
Okay, you guys are about to see an awesome show.
Nickelodeon launched the careers of many stars, but a new investigation discovery documentary, Quiet on the Set, The Darkside of Kids TV, says that behind the laughter and fun, there was bullying and abuse. I spoke with Giovanni Samuels and Brian Hearn, who say they were forced to act in demeaning sketches in on-air dare.
All right. So, it was referred to as hold on. I was referred as a piece of charcoal by an adult. He told people and also shared. Yeah, hold on. Let me take this off. This is fucking shit up. All right, my bad, y'all. So, where was I? He was referred to as a piece of charcoal by an adult. He told people also shares in the docuseries. So remarks like that are harmful. They stay with you. Hearn now 35 adds. I was already in an uncomfortable position being in a leotard. That's not something that I'm used to at all. Well, look, dude, you accepted the job, or your mom accepted the job for you, and I'm not too sure what they went over with you, but and I don't. Plus, you was my age, so you was watching all that when Katrina Johnson, which she was featured in this as well, in the first episode with her sexy ass. She's still sexy after all these years. Um, Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell, Lori Beth Vinberg, Josh. I forgot what Josh's last name is. I forgot what the Spanish girl's name was. And what was the black girl's name? I forgot. I think her name was Katrina as well. Who else? Amanda Bynes was on there or whatever, and then they went on with other iterations or other seasons, which brought on other cast members such as Nick Cannon, Leon Friars, something his name is, Danny Tamborelli. I forgot some of those other cast members. Other than the ones I'm naming right now. So it was a point in time. All that was that show back in the 90s, like Saturday night on Snick. You know what I'm saying? I didn't miss in all that episode. Never missed one. As well as are you afraid of the dark? Never missed an episode. Ren and Stimpy, never missed an episode. The Adventures of Pete and Pete, never missed an episode. What's some other shows? I was a Nickelodeon kid, so I watched all those shows. But for him to say that he felt uncomfortable, wearing a leotard and stuff like that, then I can only be sympathetic with him. So that's nothing that I'm used to at all. In the docuseries, Hearn also recounts what he remembers to be a demeaning stunt where he was covered in peanut butter for dogs to lick off when he was 13 years old on Nickelodeon's on-air Dare, a kid's version of Fear Factor. So this is what what he's talking about right here.
It's covered with peanut butter and be licked by dogs?
Mine was a peanut butter scenario. He put peanut butter all over my body and then had probably a dozen dogs run in and lick the peanut butter.
That's a 12-year-old Jamie Lynn Spears, Brittany's sister, setting the scene.
These guys are gonna smear peanut butter all over the victim.
Young Brian makes it clear he's not comfortable with what's going on.
I don't like this.
Hearing a younger me say, I don't like this, somebody should have said
something.
Stop.
Giovanni's dialogue coach was this man, Brian.
All right, we're not there yet. All right. He also mentioned that in the clip shown in the docuseries, he is heard saying he didn't like it, but the dare went on. We felt like we couldn't say no, Hearn told People. Both Hearn and Samuels said they didn't have much of a relationship with Snyder, with Hearn telling People that he felt like he was treated differently than some of the other non-black child actors. The two told that they largely leaned on each other during that time. Samuels, now 38, told People that being trained to avoid choking during a sketch that required drinking enormous amounts of fake coffee and sugar felt like waterboarding. Let me go on because we're not at that part of the video yet. You're always asking yourself, do I speak up? And if I do speak up, will I lose my job? Or do I just let it go? Series Hearn and Samuels also talk about their reaction to learning about the presence of sexual predators at Nickelodeon and how Hearn's mother often called out odd behavior on set, such as this.
Brian Peck. In 2004, Peck was convicted. Was this man, Brian Peck. In 2004, Peck was convicted of molesting a minor.
I used to walk on his back.
You would walk on his back?
Well, yeah, like, hey, can you walk on my back real quick? Like, I gotta get this kink out.
Peck wrote in her scrapbook, "Thanks for walking on my back. It really cuts down on chiropractor bills."
You think that this is okay, and it's not.
Nickelodeon says all complaints.
All right, we're not there yet. So, let's see. Okay, in a statement to People regarding the alleged behavior on past production sets, Nickelodeon said this.
Of inappropriate conduct are thoroughly investigated. Though we cannot corroborate or negate allegations of behaviors from productions decades ago, we have adopted numerous safeguards over the years to help ensure we are living up to the expectations of our audience.
All right. So, why weren't these safeguards in effect then? Let's not even just say then. When you started bringing live action television shows onto Nickelodeon, such as Nick Arcade, Double Dare, what was the one with the Astro Crag? Guts. I always wanted to be on that show when I was little. I always wanted to be on Guts. And I believe that, and also you had Wild and Crazy Kids. So this is some of the early iterations of Nickelodeon when they had live TV shows that were not just game shows, but they were, kid shows. So you get, why wasn't there safeguards then? Like you ask yourself, like, why is it that now they're looking over everything and they're like, well, now that we know of this information, we can do a better a better investigation and look things over of things that were happening with um past shows. We can now, when investigations get are conducted, we know what to look for and how to handle that. Why is it now you guys just now having those safeguards in place? Like that shit's crazy. Anyway, let's finish this video up.
Our focus is to make sure that the families are involved and to make sure that we're providing a safe space.
And plus, this is what I believe Nickelodeon should do. Because a lot of their ex-talent, most of them don't go anywhere. The only person that went somewhere after Nickelodeon was Kenan Thompson. And I forgot the young lady's name that played in Hey Dude. She was also Marcia in a Very Brady movie. She went on and did good big things. Nobody came from Solution Shorts. Omar Gooden, which was on Wild and Crazy Kids, he continued being an actor. The one guy who did Double Dare, the host of Double Dare, he does he used to do that food show. How it was like the How It's Made for Food or whatever on the food channel. I forgot his name is something Summers. Yeah, that's all I can think of who actually did something after Nickelodeon. Was those few people, those handful of people. And then you get to the 2000s. With those shows, you got Ariana Grande, you got Melissa Cosgrove, you got or Miranda Cosgrove. I said Melissa Cosgrove. And those are the only people other than the one girl that was in Victoria. She's on Dynasty now, I believe. But those are the only few. So this is what I feel as though Nickelodeon should do. Why don't you just hire your ex talent as like producers? They've been in the environment that these other kids are about to embark in. They can help them out. Like, hey, when I was your age, when I was working for Nickelodeon as talent, this is what was going on. This is how you should conduct yourself, and and why isn't there any like therapists on set? Why isn't there some sort of like other safeguards that you guys that Nickelodeon should have? Like, why aren't none of these things on these sets? I'm not understanding. Anyway, let's get into the next part. So, Drake Bell was reportedly sexually assaulted by dialogue coach Brian Peck. So this is where shit got dark. This was the second, if not the third, part of the docuseries. So the second episode, towards the end, they bring up Brian Peck's conviction and him sexually assaulting an actor that was on a Nickelodeon show, which was Drake Bell, which it was a shocker to everybody for the simple fact that no one knew who this child was until you see him walking, and this is at the end of the second episode. You see him walking from behind, like they're on a set. He's like walking behind like a mirror with the lights on it. I guess you call it like a makeup chair or whatever. And he sits in a chair and he's just like, "How's it going?" And then you go on to the next episode, and the third episode is just him talking about his story. So, for the first time, I forgot to bring up Giovanni Samuels and her sexy ass. I was in love with her too growing up. I thought she was a very nice looking chocolate black girl when I was growing up. So anyway, all right, let me rearrange this stuff. All right. I don't know why I keep doing that. All right, boom. For the first time, Drake Bell, the one-time star of Drake and Josh, speaks of being repeatedly molested by dialogue coach Brian Peck. No relation to Bell's co-star Josh Peck. Well, we don't know that. Anyway, when Bell was 15 on the first day of the Amanda Show's second season, Bell met Brian Peck, a dialogue coach who befriended him and would invite him to his home for acting lessons. Ooh, that sounds scary. Because you a grown man. Why is a grown man telling a little boy, "Hey, you should come over to my house so I can give you some acting lessons. Or you can just come over to my house." Like, what the fuck is this, dude? Anyway, let's keep going.
It was a different time, so I think it was a little easier to go to and from a courthouse and not worry about Twitter that night or TMZ paparazzis being there. On the day of sentencing for Brian, I get to the courthouse. It was the most
Wait a minute, I thought I had that video queued up. Or did I not? Hold on. I didn't bring it over. So let me find it real fast. Let me take this down, then let me bring it back up. All right, let's get into it.
Hear that Brian Peck was a sexual predator. It made me wonder immediately about who was being hurt.
Who it is, When it happened, where it happened, I have no idea.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
On one of our shows.
Yes.
All right, let's get to the next video.
It was a different time.
Okay. I guess I didn't have that queued up, so I'll just read it to you guys. I was sleeping on the couch, and this is Drake Bell saying this. He said, I was sleeping on the couch where I usually slept and woke up to him. So this is him giving us the juicy details. Pause. Pause. This is him giving his account of him being molested by Brian Peck. So I'll read this again. So this is Drake Bell being at his house. So I should give some other details about what he's about to talk about. So this is basically what happened. His dad got him into acting because his dad saw his talent, and he basically was like, Drake can do that. Like, Drake's a wonderful actor. I'm pretty sure Drake can act in anything. So Drake's dad started taking him out on auditions. So when he was 13, he got the role on the Amanda Show. So, they shoot the first season. Everything's cool. Season wraps. They go and save some money, spend some money. You know what I mean? So season 2 comes. So the acting coach, Brian Peck, comes on season 2. So he basically introduces himself, I guess, to all the actors on there. There were 4 or 5 actors. It was Amanda, Drake, Josh. I forgot the black girl's name, and it was, I believe, someone else on the show, as well as with the adult actors that would come on the show and stuff like that. What's good, Jay Polon? How you doing, man? So the second season comes around, and Drake's dad, and I should repurpose my I should repurpose all of that. So let me close this out again. And let me redo all of this. So what I'm about to play is his dad's account of what was happening as well.
You hear scuttlebutt about the business and what you got to watch your kids and this and that. So I was very attentive. All the other parents would be seen and not heard, which I would never interrupt anything, but very rarely sat in the green room. I'd always be offset somewhere where I could always keep my eyes on Drake. And unfortunately, I started seeing Brian start to just hang around Drake too much. And it didn't set well with me. Drake would be in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian and just touch Drake. Do things that, wait a second, what are you doing? Drake can put that on himself. And the thing is, this is in front of people. Then he'd maybe walk over to Drake and be feeding him some lines or whatever and put his arm around his waist, put his hand up on his shoulder and kind of run it down his arm and things like that. And this would happen routinely. Was just always uncomfortable.
It was a different...
All right, so more on that at the end of this, because he's not the first actor that he's done this to. Okay. So, moving on. So this is Drake's account again of what happened to him. I was sleeping on. Oh, I didn't even get through all of the story. So Brian drove a wedge between Drake's father that you just saw and Drake. He wanted to stick his claws into Drake because he was so enamored with him. He's like, I gotta have Drake. The only way I can have him is if I split him away from his father. Okay. So this is where shit gets weird. His mom starts becoming his manager. His mom wasn't interested in being his manager in the first place. Hence to why his dad took the initiative of taking Drake out on his auditions and basically being a stage parent or whatever. So Drake's dad was his stage parent. So his dad, like he said, he would keep an eye on Drake just to see what was going on because, he heard rumors of things going on in the industry that he probably didn't think would happen to his son. All right, so here we go. His mom, Drake's mom, started getting a little lazy, or someone got to his mom saying, look, I don't know why you keep coming here and sitting with your son. Like, it's a long, grueling process. We're here for 16 hours a day. You should just drop him off and come back and come get him, right? She hears that and she does that. She starts taking Drake to work, dropping him off. Josh Peck, having his talons in Drake, basically, this is his time to shine. This is Brian Peck's time to shine with his favorite boy toy actress. I mean, actor. I said actress. Sorry, Drake. I didn't mean that. Okay. His mom does this so much that Brian starts telling him, look, we can just go back to my place. He can sleep on the couch. We'll run over some lines for tomorrow's scenes. And, well, we can go to work tomorrow. I'll basically just take you to work tomorrow, So Drake basically was sleeping over this man's house, not willingly, only because I forgot where he said he lived at in California, but I guess for his mom to come from wherever she lived to the studio in LA, wherever the hell it was in LA, it would be an hour drive for her. She didn't feel like taking that drive. So hence to why Brian would take Drake home with him. Okay, so this is where Drake starts him talking about, and he was very choked up to talk about this. So I've been reading the same line the entire time. So let me read it over again and get through all of it. I was sleeping on the couch where I usually sleep, and I woke up to him. I opened my eyes and I woke up, and he was sexually assaulting me. I guess I'm guessing Brian had his dick in Drake's mouth. So, and I froze and I was in complete shock and I had no idea what to do or how to react. Bell also says the abuse happened more than once. and that he was afraid of speaking out. So, okay, before we get into this video, this is where shit gets weird. So, the shit was happening so much. Him going home with Brian, him having to sleep nights over at Brian's. He felt like, he was trapped at this point, to where it repeatedly kept going. Like, I'm guessing it advanced as well. Not just with him sexually assaulting, and through sodomy of the mouth, he sodomized them. Y'all get to y'all understand what I'm trying to say. He sodomized them elsewhere. So Drake says that he's at his girlfriend's house one night. One night. Brian, I'm guessing they're, this is them off, like the show's going on. He's being paid, and it's break. Like they're in the middle of, between seasons. So Drake says that he's over at his girlfriend's house, and his phone just keeps ringing off the hook. This is where, like, Drake said he was starting to rebel. He said he was drinking. How he got the alcohol, who knows? He was drinking a lot. He started abusing drugs a little bit, and he was just trying to escape. He met his girlfriend, and he was spending his time with his girlfriend at the time. So his girlfriend, he was over his girlfriend's house, I guess, just watching TV, and his cell phone starts ringing off the hook. So he answers it. He's like, "Hello, who's this?" It was Brian. Brian would basically call him and say, "Hey, you want to go to Disneyland?" And this is not the first time that him and Brian hung out, went to Disneyland with Brian's friends and stuff like that. I'm guessing that was Brian's way of showing his friends, this is my boy lover or whatever. So he said, he would, in the beginning, he would go to these events with Brian. So this particular time, when he's at his girlfriend's house, his phone rings off the hook. He told, Brian's like, "Hey man, where are you? Like, thought we had plans to go to Disneyland." Drake says, "Oh, I forgot. Sorry about that. I didn't know, blah, 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 blah." So Drake hangs up. He then calls his cell phone nonstop again. But that's not the worst part. Not only does he keep blowing his cell phone up, Brian also has the house number to his girlfriend's house. Phone's just ringing off the hook. So his girlfriend's mom picks the phone up, and she answers the phone. She's like, "Hello." Brian says, "Hey, may I speak to Drake, please?" So his girlfriend's mom hands him the phone. I guess Drake looks at her and is like, "Hey, who is it?" It's that man. So he's like, "Oh shit!" Like, "Hello." He said, "Drake, like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, why are you like not answering my calls? Like, I'm trying to go to Disneyland. Like, what the fuck? Like, why aren't you trying to go to Disneyland?" Drake's like, "Look, man, like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't feel like, going. I'm hanging with my girlfriend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we can go next time. We can go next time." He hangs the phone up. His girlfriend's mom comes into the living room and asks him, "May I speak to you for a minute?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So then he says, his girlfriend's mom asks him, "What's going on between you and Brian?" So Drake says he plays it off because, he's still dealing with the trauma of Brian doing sexual things to him, and, he doesn't know how to feel about it and stuff like that. So Drake, his girlfriend's mom says, "Look, no 40-some-year-old man should be calling my daughter's boyfriend like this. Is there something going on, Drake? You need to tell me now." So Drake says, "Yeah, there is something going on. Like, I've been sexually assaulted by this man several times. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I'm going through some things with it and stuff like that." She says, "Look," his girlfriend's mom says, "Look, don't worry about it." She immediately gets on the phone with Drake's mom, says, "Look, we need to talk. Something's going on with Drake and you need to know about it." So his mom's like, "All right, like, what's going on? Is everything fine? Is Drake fine?" And she says, "No, Drake isn't fine. That coach of his has been sexually abusing him numerous times." So after she hangs up the phone with his mom, she calls her therapist. Her therapist. He tells the therapist what's going on. I guess he has a session, or he talks to the therapist at the same time. His girlfriend's mom calls the police. Drake said he didn't want it to go any further than where it was, because he didn't feel as though that it was that important to get this guy locked up for, because he doesn't want to get in trouble. He doesn't want to be brought up as this guy's been sexually abusing me and stuff like that, and I haven't been doing anything about it. So he goes in for an interview with the cops. The cops basically ask him a few questions like, how long has this abuse been happening? How do you know this guy? Is there a reason why you guys were always, hanging with each other? Stuff like that. So Drake basically goes down the line of why he's how he got sexually assaulted, why he got sexually assaulted, why he's around this guy and stuff like that. So the cops set up a sting operation, like, right away. They set up a sting operation. So the cops hook up a tape recorder to his girl, or to his house phone. So, they got the wires running, they got the tape recorder going. So they basically tell Drake, the cops tell Drake, "Look, this is what we need for you to do. We need for you to get a confession out of him." And Drake's like, "Well, how do I do that?" He said, "Just talk to him. Tell him how you feel about what's been happening to you by what he's been doing to you. Just get him there. Believe us, he'll start to confess." So he calls Brian up. So he calls Brian. He's like, "Hey, Brian, what's going on?" He said, "Oh, hey, Drake, what's going on?" He said, "Look, Brian, I want to talk to you about something. Like, these things that you've been doing to me, like, I don't know how to feel about them. I'm not comfortable with this stuff happening to me. Why are you doing this stuff to me?" So Drake says that Brian rebuttals that as, "Are we being recorded?" So he said he didn't know what to do. So I'm guessing the cops behind the scenes is like, keep going, keep going. So Drake's like, well, man, like, come on, man. Like, I need for you to tell me, like, why are you doing this to me? So he said after that, Brian starts singing like a canary. He's like, I really like you, and I think you're a cool guy. I just want us to be together. Blah blah blah. Cops get their confession. So, where am I? I was frozen, couldn't complete shock, and had no idea what to do, how to react. Bell also says that abuse happened more than once, and that he was afraid speaking out. And it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and I was just trapped. Bell explained. I had no way out. The abuse was extensive, and it got pretty brutal. I'm guessing Brian sent Drake to the hospital for certain reasons that I won't bring up on this show. I'll joke about if somebody else being accused of it, they grown man, stuff like that. But we're talking about someone who's a grown man, of which this happened to him when he was a child. So I'm not going to joke about that. So in 2004, Peck pled guilty. Pled no contest to charges of oral copulation with a minor under 16 and performing a lewd act with a 14 or 15-year-old in connection with Bell's case. So, Peck gets locked up, and we'll get to the case in just a minute of some crazy shit that was happening with that. So Bell gets locked up. So Brian Hearn and Giovanni Samuels and the rest of the cast of all that, and I'm pretty sure this happened with Amanda, Drake. I'm sorry, Amanda, Josh, and I believe the black girl was gone at this point, and whomever the other young actress chick was. The producers bring these kids together in a meeting, basically saying some things has been going on with Brian Peck. Brian Peck is no longer working for us anymore, and some things happen with a child actor, and he'll no longer be working for us anymore. All right, guys, you guys can go now. Like, that's how they said that it happened. So case starts, and this is what happens.
Different time, so I think it was a little easier to go to and from a courthouse and not worry about Twitter that night or TMZ paparazzis being there. On the day of sentencing for Brian, I get to the courthouse. It was the most unbelievable thing I'd ever seen. His entire side of the courtroom was full. Full. There were definitely some recognizable faces on that side of the room. And
So, like I said, we will be getting into all of that in the next part of this. So basically, what Drake is bringing up is that when he's going to court, because he had to be a witness. Well, no, I don't think he said he took the stand, which I don't believe. Kids can't take the stand. I'm sorry. Which he doesn't take the stand. It's just he had to be there because he's involved. Let me see. Where am I at? Bell's case. So, so this is also what happens with him, with his account of everything that happened.
My side was me, my mom, and my brother. Brian had been convicted, but getting all of this support from a lot of people in the industry, and yeah, I was pretty shocked.
All right, so Peck spent 16 months in prison and was required to register as a sex offender. Bell's identity as the victim was not made public at the time. In a statement to People, Nickelodeon said, now that Drake Bell has disclosed his identity as the plaintiff in the 2004 case, we are dismayed and saddened to learn of the trauma he has endured, and we commend and support the strength required to come forward. According to Bell, oh no, okay, here we go. According to Bell, Schneider was not aware Bell was Peck's victim until Bell confided in him. Schneider offered to support him in any way he could, Bell says in the Docuseries. So, go over that. So, he said, I think Drake said like around when the case was ending or after the case had ended, he went to Dan Schneider and told him, hey, look, Dan, that whole court case was about me. I was the child that he was molesting. So he said Dan told him, look, man, I didn't know it was you. If I would have known it was you, I would have did something. But if you need anything, let me know, and I'll be there to help. Okay. So when that happens, and all that's all said and done, I'll allow Drake to explain that part of what happened as well.
My mom got up, she had a statement. I wasn't going to address Brian. There was no reason to. I addressed my statement to everyone in the room. I looked at all of them. And
yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring this picture up. I thought that view was up. Anyway, yeah, Drake told Dan Schneider that he was molested by Brian Peck.
And I just said, how dare you? And I said, you will forever have the memory of sitting in this courtroom and defending this person. And I will forever have the memory of the person you're defending violating me and doing unspeakable acts and crimes. And that's what I'll remember.
Daniel,
Wait a minute. I gotta set this up. Okay, so after the entire series came out, Drake said his piece about stuff. The cast of Ned's Declassified, they have a podcast, and they thought it would be funny if they come out and make jokes about this. And it was very lewd. It was very lewd, low. It was rude that they did this. And this is what happened.
Daniel, we told you never to speak about that. Get back in your hole, Daniel, and give me your holes.
Okay, so Drake Bell said Ned's Ned's the classless. This is wild. Laugh it up, guys. Laugh it up. Give me your holes. Really? The actor labeled Devin Workhisher. I hope I said that right. Lindsay Shaw and Daniel Curtis Lee. The classless is a tweet after they joked about the Quiet on the Set Nickelodeon documentary in a TikTok live.
Sorry, we shouldn't joke about this. We really shouldn't.
This is awful. Why are we doing this?
Because this is about us. Listen, our set was not like that. And no, it's awful. The Drake Bell is that's crazy to hear. Not talking about this anymore.
No.
Guys, we can't joke like this. Jesus, guys, we're sometimes humor helps us move through things.
I woke up and he was sexually assaulting me.
All right. Now, we're about to get into the most shocking thing about all of this. Are y'all ready for this? Okay, so when Drake was talking about the people that he saw on Brian Peck's side, this shit is wild. Like, this shit is wild. Do I have that all the way down here? It was one part I was supposed to be talking about that I should be talking about now instead of later. Okay, hold on. Is it the next part? I guess that part didn't save. Damn, that's crazy. I had that part in there and I guess it didn't save. So I'm gonna have to bring it up like this. Give me a second. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to bring it up a different way. All right. So, when I was talking about how this wasn't the first time Brian Peck did some shit like this with another known actor at that. With a known actor. On the set of Growing Pains, I believe it was Growing Pains, was Brian Peck and then child actor Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, I don't know if I have this video or not. I believe I don't. Yes, I do not. I don't. So it's a video you can see where Brian Peck on the set of Growing Pains as Leonardo DiCaprio's dialogue coach. You can see Brian Peck hovering around Leonardo, grabbing his waist, touching his arms, hugging on him, shit like that. Shit's disturbing. And like it was like it's a little weird. Like it's a little weird that a grown ass man is finding young boys attractive. Now I spoke about pedophilia here on this channel eons ago. If you guys want to see that video, go to and I want you guys to not blame me for the quality of the video because I was just starting out. But the video is called, if you go to my channel and you go into the Market Speaks playlist, go all the way down, scroll all the way down, and then start scanning up. You'll see a video. It's a dark picture of like a half of a person's face or whatever, and it says what you didn't know about pedophilia. And I go over a whole list of shit of what people probably didn't know about pedophilia, and it's extensive. I think my shows were an hour then, so it's a whole full hour of me talking about things people probably don't know about pedophilia. So go and check that out. I'm ahead of my time on this channel simply because when everybody started talking about what pedophiles want to be called now, MAPS, what was it called? Minor attracted persons. I was like 2 years ahead of everybody. I had spoke about this shit 2 years before anybody or everybody started talking about this shit. Because it wasn't popular when I was talking about it, but when, you know what I'm saying, shit gets popular, everybody want to make a video about it. It's like, nah, I've been there, done that already. Like, I'm ahead of my time. Like, I'm way ahead of y'all. Like, y'all are catching up to me, basically, is what I was saying to myself. Not to pat myself on the back, but shit, you know what I'm saying? Give me some goddamn credit. Give me some credit.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Anyway, but that's Brian Peck being embraced with Leonardo DiCaprio. All right, moving on. So, Brian Peck's side of the situation of him being damn, what the hell am I trying to say here? This is the people who were on Brian Peck's side basically taking up for him. So, James Marsden and other actors once defended Brian Peck with letters of support. So, Quiet on the Set also recounts the actors who wrote letters of support for Brian Peck when the disgraced former dialogue coach was set to be sentenced in 2004 for sexual abusing Bell. It's not clear how much about the charges those who spoke out in support of Peck knew at the time. In his letter of support for Peck. So, I'm about to play a video of everybody who was basically taking up and having, you know, Brian Peck's back or whatever. These are the people.
James Marsden and Boy Meets World stars were among those who wrote letters in support of Nickelodeon's Brian Peck. Court documents from the former Nickelodeon employee and convicted sex offender's trial, including the 41 letters of support, were unsealed for the first time in nearly 20 years for the docuseries Quiet on Set, The Darkside of Kids TV. At the time, the identity of the child actor who was abused by Peck was unknown publicly. However, in the third episode of the series, actor Drake Bell came forward, revealing he was the child in question.
His entire side of the courtroom was full. there were definitely some recognizable faces on that side of the room.
In total, 41 people wrote letters of support for Peck, which are used to influence the judge during sentencing. Among the recognizable names that voiced their support towards Peck were Ron Melendez, Alan Thicke, James Marsden, Ryder Strong, Will Friedle, and Bell's former The Amanda Show co-star Taran Killam. In his letter, Marsden noted that he'd known Peck for 14 years. I assure you what Brian has been through in the last year is the suffering of 100 men. Killam.
Are you fucking crazy? Are you crazy? See, now I understand you being friends with somebody or you having acquaintance with someone. And also, people not having the wherewithal of basically knowing who they're around. So James Marsden basically and everyone else basically wrote these letters in support of Brian Peck simply because, oh well, Brian would never do anything like this. This is absurd. Why would he do something like that? Man, get his dick out your mouth. This is so weird to me. Like, for these motherfuckers, and for people who speculate all the time about there's a pedophile ring in Hollywood, for this shit to come out and then for these people to basically say, yeah, Brian wouldn't do anything like this. This is weird behavior, right? Is it weird behavior? Because simply you're taking up for this man, you don't see it as weird behavior. You see it as, oh, well, it's Hollywood. This is what we do. This is how we do it. Now, I'm gonna name more names. Probably, I think they named all of the names, but I'm gonna name more names though. All right. All right.
Wrote in his letter, I've seen the effects this situation has had on Brian, and I know for a fact that he regrets any mistakes made. In February, Strong and Friedle commented on the situation on their Boy Meets World podcast, saying, in telling me what happened and instantly spinning it to where it wasn't his fault, it was clearly the fault of his victim. My initial instinct, because of the years I'd been working with him, was, well, yeah, of course.
This picture right here is very telling. This is why. Let's start with this guy, Jason Handy. Jason Handy was a production assistant. He was a PA. So in the first, if not second episode, there's a woman that basically said when she was a little girl, she wanted to be a child star because she saw Shirley Temple as a kid, and she wanted, to be a child star just like Shirley Temple. But her parents told her, no, you will not be a child actor. You will go on and be this and be that. So she was devastated. So her daughter started to take interest into acting. So she said, "Oh wow, this is my chance to not only make my daughter's dreams come true, but I can make my dreams come true by seeing my daughter as a child star, like I wanted my mother to do for me." So this guy right here, her daughter played an extra on an episode or a few episodes of The Amanda Show. So much so that this guy would take, even with the cast of all that, he would attend Bible studies with these actors. He would, reach out to the families. How's everything going? Is there anything that I can do for you guys? Are you guys okay? Blah blah blah. Right, just playing it real close. I started taking a liking to this woman's daughter. So much so that Jason Handy exchanged what was it called? Email addresses. At the time we was using instant messenger. So they exchanged instant messengers profiles, and he would talk to the girl back and forth. This little girl was all of like 12, if not 13 years old. So one day, she's on the computer. The little girl is, and she gets a message from Brian. I mean, not Brian. I'm sorry, from Jason. The girl gets so scared, she shuts the computer down and runs in her room, and she's just bawling, crying. Like, why would he do this to me? Like, why is he doing this to me? And her mom is like, what's wrong? Like, what did you see? So the girl had to get up and gain enough courage to show her mom what she saw. What she saw was Jason butt-ass naked jerking off. I forgot what the message was to her, but I believe before he sent the picture to her, he asked her, "Can I send you something?" And I guess the girl was like, sure, Jason. And then Jason sends over the picture. This shit is crazy. So, Jason gets locked up. We all know about Brian. You just heard about it. So this guy, the last guy, the black guy, he was working on the set of the Amanda show, I believe. Or it was either iCarly or Victorious. It was one of them. So the account was that they said that they got was that that guy came in with a random child. Like, he just had a random child with him. They didn't know if this dude had a kid or something. He was just bringing him to work with him. Like, they didn't know very much about this dude. I believe he was like a set builder or something. So much so that the kid that he had with him, I think they said like looked like off, like the kid like looked a little off, and they, I guess, asked the kid like, "Hey, like, what's going on?" Or I believe they said that they caught the guy with a child, and then they called the cops. The dude immediately got locked up, and I believe they said that they shut production down that day because of that. So, but this is all on Dan Schneider shows. Like, all of these people, Jason and Brian worked on both All That, the second iteration of All That, and the Amanda show. Both of those guys were employees of Dan Schneider. So who's doing the hiring for Dan Schneider, right? Has to be Dan Schneider doing the hiring for Dan Schneider. So Dan Schneider, in a way, of which his name was plastered all over this docuseries, was at fault for this. Before we go any further, or no. I'll say that for after this part of it. So we'll continue this video. Then we'll get into like the weirdest shit ever with this.
It can't be you. Strong added, it was always in the context of, I did this thing, I'm guilty, I'm going to take whatever punishment the government determines, but I'm a victim of jailbait. There was this hot guy, I just did this thing, and he's underage. In an Instagram post made by former Zoe 101 star Alexa Nicholas, who also appears on Quiet on Set, she addressed the Boy Meets World cast letter saying, you cared more about Hollywood, Pizzagate, and Boy Meets World than a child that was molested by someone you defended and never apologized to. Bell himself replied to a comment on the post, which was since deleted, writing, many people turned away and said, no, I won't write a letter. But Friedel and Strong did. Nickelodeon's Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide star Devin Workshire also apologized to Bell after facing backlash on social media for comments he made about the actor on TikTok. Bell shot back on X, writing Ned's declassless. For much more details on this story, including Dan Schneider's response to the allegations in a video exclusively obtained by The Hollywood Reporter, head to thr.com. And for the latest entertainment news and updates, keep watching The Hollywood Reporter News.
All right. So, this is where shit gets a little weird. Now, off of Brian Peck and Drake Bell, let's get into Amanda Bynes. So we all know Amanda Bynes looks a little disturbed. Now. Oh yeah, I'm not even finished this part. So I'll get into the Amanda Bynes stuff after this. So James Marsden wrote, I assure you what Brian has been through is the in the last year is the suffering of 100 men. Very, very classy, James. So, moving on, several other actors and producers also wrote letters as well, such as Will Friedle and Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World, Alan Thicke from Growing Pains, SNL alum Taran Killam, Growing Pains star Joanne Kearns, and Twin Peaks actress Kimmy Robinson, and X-Men producer Tom Santos, and many more, wrote letters for Brian Peck to basically say, you know, he never did this to those kids, or to that kid. I've known him for so long, he would never do anything like that. It's like, man, get your head out your ass. Like, anybody's able to do anything at any moment. Hell, I just had a weird exchange today with an old friend and her mom, and the friend had her daughter with her that I haven't seen since she was like 3 years old. And well, she wasn't 3. I think was probably around maybe like 8, like 7, 6, 7 or 8. I haven't seen her. And the grandmother was talking crazy, like, hey, take her with you. I said, whoa, lady, whoa. The fuck is you talking about? She said, look, she has to go. Take her with you. And then I was like, no, I'm not into that. That's trafficking. No, I'm sorry. And she was like, well, you know, she's almost 18. I said, I looked at my friend. I said, hey, I gotta go. That shit was weird. So, okay, moving on. So, Dan Schneider. So, in the first episode, it was explained that when all that, you know, was hitting its stride, and it was, you know, in several million homes on Saturday nights, they you know, they had the original cast. The original cast consists of Keenan and Kel, Lori Beth, Katrina Johnson, Josh Damn, I forgot Josh's last name, and it's real simple too. It was a light skinned girl. I think. Hold on, let me just look it up. How about that? Angelique, that's her name. So it was Angelique Bates, Lori Beth Denberg, sorry, uh, Elisa Reyes, Josh Server, Katrina Johnson, Kel Mitchell, Keenan Thompson. They got Nick Cannon here, but Nick Cannon was never a part of the cast until like season 3 or 4. But anyway, um, and then Amanda Bynes. Like I said, Amanda Bynes. So Amanda Bynes came to all that by way of Katrina Johnson. So Katrina Johnson was the youngest cast member on the first and second season of all that. So so she was Dan Schneider's favorite at that time. Katrina Johnson was. So Katrina was on the show from ages 10 to 16. And that's a story too, because Katrina, she was getting older, she was getting more pretty and stuff like that, and she was growing into herself. So, she started to, develop and stuff like that. I remember her being a little chubby at one time. So Dan Schneider calls Katrina's parents and basically say, "Hey, Katrina's getting a little fat, and uh, we don't need 2 fat people. We already got a fat one." Talking about Lori Beth Denberg. So they basically degraded Lori Beth for no damn reason, to basically say to Katrina's parents, make sure she loses weight. So Katrina loses the weight. So Dan Schneider basically tells Katrina, look, or tells Katrina's parents, basically telling, look, Katrina's very talented, she's funny, stuff like that. Katrina has a future ahead of her, and I have a show that I want to develop for Katrina, and I think you guys will be very happy with what will come out of it. Okay, let's speed forward a little bit. Katrina Johnson is doing a comedy camp at the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles. So, in this camp, Katrina Johnson discovers Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes was doing a stand-up set. Katrina thought Amanda was very funny, and she called Dan Schneider right away and was like, "Look, you need to come down here to the Laugh Factory and check this little girl out. She's about 10 years old. She's funny as hell. You should come and come check her out." So Dan goes and checks Amanda Bynes out. He thinks she's funny as well. Asks her parents, would you like for your I think your child has amazing talent. I think she would do good in this popular show we have on Nickelodeon called All That. It's a sketch comedy show. It's just like SNL, but it's for kids. So her dad, Amanda Bynes' dad, says, "Cool. When should she audition?" So I guess Dan was like, "Oh, she doesn't have to audition. We'll bring her on as a new cast member in the next season." So the next season comes, Amanda Bynes gets introduced. Katrina starts getting phased out of sketches. This is around like 97, 98. And with that being said, Dan starts attaching himself to Amanda. And Amanda's dad is very vocal in Amanda's development on the show and stuff like that, to the point of where when school is going on set, when they're rehearsing lines, Amanda isn't there. She was with Dan. And everybody, Leon, who was on the show, and I believe he was the only person. I believe Katrina. Nah, this happened after. So Leon, hold on, let me get his name again. What is Leon's last name? Leon. Where are you, Leon? Leon Fearson. So Leon said in the docuseries, as well as I believe Katrina Johnson, she says that when they would be rehearsing and stuff, Amanda was never around. She was always in Dan's office going over characters and going over, I guess they was in the development of the Amanda show. So as she's working on the set of all that, she's basically, I guess during their downtime, Dan would have her come in his office and start working out characters that she can develop for her new show that's about to come out. And like the kids thought that was very strange. Like what is this? Like what is this young girl doing in this older guy's office all the time? Like what are they doing in there? So after a while, Amanda gets her own show. So Amanda, she hit superstardom. It's the scene that everyone was talking about for years, how Dan and Amanda was in a hot tub together while Amanda's wearing a bathing suit. He's in the hot tub fully clothed. So Amanda hits superstardom. She's in movies with another child actor. What's his name? What the hell is his name again? The guy that played in Malcolm in the Middle. He played Malcolm. I forgot the homeboy's name. But she's in movies with him. She's in her own movies, stuff like that. She's hitting her stride. So much so, same thing that Brian Peck was doing with Drake. Dan Schneider was doing with Amanda. So that led me to believe, well, Brian liked little boys, Dan Schneider liked little girls. So during this time, around this time, Dan starts writing a pilot for a new show for Amanda. Because I believe right around the time when Brian Peck when Jason Handy got convicted, I believe the show like ended. So, Amanda's in movies, stuff like that. So Dan, latching on to Amanda, develops a new show for her on the WB called, I forgot what the show's called, What I Like About You or something like that, I believe it was called. So this is when Amanda's like 16 years old. He's driving Dan's driving a wedge between Amanda and her family, and so much so that Amanda gets emancipated from her parents. So, so we all know the tragic story of Amanda Bynes, how she started going a little haywire after a while. And in recent years, Amanda wrote a cryptic message on either Twitter or Instagram, and it says this. Hold up, yo. This is what it said. All right, this would be the time where I bring the shit back where it was supposed to be. So Amanda Bynes made an account on Twitter with the name Ashley Banks. I think this is still around the time when she was trying to be emancipated from her parents. So this is what it says. I love how upset some people are getting over my life. You should get one. My friends know how to reach me. Free Amanda Bynes. Then she writes, my parents are the ones tweeting on Amanda Bynes. Deleting this account. Please pray for my freedom and chance to have control over my finances. So then she writes this cryptic message. Now, let me, how can I do this? Do it like this. So she also posted a tweet with a hidden message that was shown by capitalizing random letters in the tweet as follows. So this is what she writes. Thank you for all your ongoing support. I don't, and the D right there is capitalized, know how any, the A's capitalized, of these men, N's capitalized, so Dan so far, sleep at night, but if there's one thing I do, the D's capitalized, no, is the I's capitalized, that's what's done, the D's capitalized, N, I's capitalized, the dark always comes to the light. Now, she made this an I though. And then the T in it is also capitalized. So, if you put all the capitalized words together, it forms this. Dan did it. And that was pretty smart on Amanda's part of her, being, but still, you know what I'm saying? She made it known that Dan did that shit. Whatever he's being accused of at the time, he did that shit. All right, so moving on. This has to be the wildest story in the entire docuseries. I kid you not. I don't even want to go over the title of this part. I just want to read you guys the article, the parts of the article first, and then I'll tell you the story. I mean the title. In the docuseries, it revealed that Peck had a signed self-portrait painting of an infamous serial killer. Now here's the title. Brian Peck flaunted painting by serial killer John Wayne Gacy. I kid you not. I kid you not. That's the painting. That's the painting. Now, John Wayne Gacy, that he boasted about in front of child stars. Former All That cast member Kyle Sullivan, then 14, talked about seeing the painting inside of Peck's home, with which included a shrine to Planet of the Apes, and most notably a painting of a clown holding balloons, which seemingly had nothing to do with the famous sci-fi franchise. So this is what this young man, or he's 30 now, but this is what this guy had to say about that.
At this point, I'm like 14. I didn't know like the details, but I knew like this guy's a serial killer who like killed a lot of young men and boys. My instinct was like, everyone has to see this. And so like all the parents and the kids come into the room, and then Brian present the painting again. And Brian actually developed a pen pal relationship with John. He kept like this pile of letters and photos from John Wayne Gacy in his nightstand next to his bed. And he like pulls them out and starts showing them to me. Your instinct to give someone the benefit of the doubt, if you've known them for that long, even in the face of like this really bad sign. It was one of those like classic failures of group psychology. Failures.
Hey, it's Boogie.
All right. We'll get to you in a minute, Boogie. Boogie Woogie. So, wild shit, right? That this child at the time was seeing the guy that he works with every day with Planet of the Apes memorabilia, as well as a signed self-portrait painted by the man himself, John Wayne Gacy, in his house. In his house. So, Sullivan says when he asked Peck about the painting, the dialogue coach became excited. Brian flipped the thing around, and on the back it said, listen to this, "To Brian, I hope you enjoy the painting. Best wishes, your friend, John Wayne Gacy." Sullivan recalls in the docuseries, the former child star also says Peck had a collection of letters he had been sent by Gacy, who was known as the Killer Clown, and R-worded and K-worded over 30 young men and boys in the 1970s. And John Wayne Gacy was slick with his shit. He would basically be a clown for child's birthday parties. And he would get his victims, and he would do what he had to do to them, and then he would kill them. And just the mug shot alone is scary as shit. This nigga is smiling in his mug shot. The craziness about all of this. That's wild. That is wild. Now, where am I at? Okay, so Brian developed a pen pal relationship with John. Sullivan says he kept this pile of letters and photos from John Wayne Gacy in his nightstand next to his bed. Schneider has since seen the docuseries and has made a lengthy apology video for allegations of misconduct. Now, I haven't been through this entire thing, so we'll probably won't get into the other topics of the night. So I'll just port those over for next week's show. But this apology video, so far of what I've seen, probably only like a minute or so of it, this shit is wild. This shit is wild. So, The person,
Hey, it's
the person who's interviewing him, named Boogie, he played on iCarly. He's interviewing his ex-boss, Dan Schneider. This is how it went.
Boogie. I played T-Bo on Nickelodeon's iCarly. I got a chance to watch the Quiet on Set program, and I reached out to Dan to see if it was something that he'd be willing to discuss. I'm pleased to say that he said yes. Dan, how are you?
I'm okay. I really appreciate you reaching out and giving me the opportunity to talk to you about what we saw over the last 2 nights.
I'm really glad you're here because I believe this is important.
For sure.
We've got a lot of things to unpack. But before I dive into my list of topics that I'd like to discuss, is there anything you'd like to start off with?
Absolutely. Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult. Me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret. And I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
Yeah. Dan, talk to me about the writer's room. From what I saw, not cool.
No. And I don't mean to cut you off, but if I can cut right to the chase, let me just say, no writer should ever feel uncomfortable in any writer's room, ever, period, the end, no excuses. Most TV writers, comedy writers have been in writer's rooms, and they are aware that a lot of times there are inappropriate jokes made and inappropriate topics come up. But the fact that I participated in that, especially when I was leading the room, it embarrasses me. I shouldn't have done it. And I can tell you why it hurts really bad for me. I remember very clearly my early experiences, my first experiences in the entertainment business. I was green, I was scared, I was excited. It meant the world to me that I was getting those opportunities. And I went in and I got lucky because they were great. My first couple of experiences were fantastic. And the fact that I didn't pay that forward to every employee that walked through my door, it hurts my heart because I should have. And I wish I could go back and fix that. In the writer's room, there's no doubt that sometimes those jokes went beyond the pale and I said things that went too far or made practical jokes that went too far. And that was wrong. And that was because, I was an inexperienced producer. I was immature. Wouldn't happen today. But I'm just really sorry it happened.
Yeah. Now, we know you've had a lot of success.
All right. So far, this sounds scripted. Like, I want to know where Boogie became an interviewer. And the crazy part about all of this, everybody, is when you go to find this video on YouTube, this is on Dan Schneider's YouTube channel. The irony, right? The irony of Dan Schneider putting out a interview-styled apology where he's being asked questions about what was said in a docuseries about him, but really it was largely about, the pedophiles that was on the sets of these TV shows. Dan Schneider hasn't been confirmed as a pedophile, but due to Dan Schneider hitting his stride more so after the Amanda show, he hit gold on Nickelodeon when it came to Zoe 101, iCarly, Victorious, Sam and Cat, and Game Shakers. I believe that's what the show's called. And, he was about to develop more shit for the show. But, he's getting bad news after bad news that most of his employees are child touchers. So much so The child toucher, the initial child toucher of Drake Bell, after he got sentenced to 16 months in jail, but he should have got more. Once he got out, he had to register himself as a sex offender. But guess where this fool got a new job at? Disney. On the hit TV show Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. He was a dialogue coach on that show. How the fuck does that happen? How does that happen? Like, that's the wildest thing I've ever heard. How are you a sex offender, a child sex offender, but you're working around children? Not one, 4, maybe 5, several if we count the extras and the guest appearances of other child actors. He's working with these people directly. How does that not how does that not what's the word I'm looking for? Violate his shit. Like, he can't be whatever amount of feet next to a child. So why is that he's working with them? And then to Dan's account, him saying, I should have paid it forward for, how I was treated when I was on ahead of the class and stuff like that, of which he wrote on as well. So he's telling, basically his character on the show was basically like the fat guy. So, in the 80s and 90s, if you were fat, gay, mentally ill, and all that other stuff, you was made fun of. That's just how shit worked back in the 90s, which we should go back to the 90s in some capacity with certain things. Just saying. Or to the old world, as some people like to say. But anyway, so this is also what Dan had to say when it comes to him apologizing and taking accountability for his actions for when he was working for Nickelodeon.
Over 2 decades. Thousands of people have worked with you, for you. Okay. Let's speak directly to the people who did not have a good experience with you.
Okay, I would like to speak to those people because I hate that anybody worked for me and didn't have a good time. You know me, you've been on my sets. Look, I've had some employees that have worked for me for 10 years, some more than 20 years, who would work with me again, but not everybody. There's still a significant number that didn't have a great time working for me. So my batting average isn't nearly high enough in that area. And the way they wouldn't get the best of me is that I would let the pressure of doing 40 or even more episodes per year, I would let that pressure get to me, which a good boss should never, ever do.
Was there specific things that you were doing?
Sure. I would snap at people sometimes. I would be snarky when I could have given them a nicer answer. I would not give people the time that they needed. I would be in too big a hurry to get on to the next thing I had to do. And watching that show, it made me, there were so many times I wanted to pick up a phone and call some of those people and say, I'm so sorry, and let's talk about it. And I wish you'd had a better time, and I wish I could have shown you a better experience.
Or some of them people would just say, go fuck yourself. That's what some of those people would say.
Yeah. Now, you've written hundreds of episodes. Thousands of jokes have been told.
Yeah.
But currently where we are, some people think that some of those jokes are inappropriate for children. What do you think of that?
All these jokes that you're speaking of, that the show covered over the past 2 nights, every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny. Okay?
Yeah, Dan, but your jokes have sexual innuendos. Now, certain parts I didn't bring up in this because I didn't feel as though that it was that important. Was the female writer team that he had? I forget their names, but basically they worked for Dan when the Amanda Show started. He hired both of them and told them that they would have to split a salary. So he also said, well, I don't think women are funny, so try your best to be funny and all this other craziness. So then, after these women find out that they have to split a salary, they have to try their damnedest to bring in a script that Dan likes. They also had to deal with his bullying, his sexual innuendo, them being uncomfortable around him at times because of the jokes he would tell. Like it was this one part in the docu series where I forgot Shorty's name, but it was one of the women that was on the female writers team, and they said that Dan would have you do things that weren't necessary, such as he would instant message them. Yeah, it's been that long. He would instant message. He would instant message them and tell them to say certain things out loud. To a point of where this dude sent the chick, one of the female writers, a note saying, "Say this line, but act like you're, but say it and say it as if you're being sodomized at the same time you're saying it." What? Like, what type of work environment are you in? Like, what are you doing? But anyway, let's continue.
Now we have some adults looking back at them 20 years later through their lens, and they're looking at them and they're saying, "Oh, I don't think that's appropriate for a kid's show." Mm-hmm. And I have no problem with that if that's how anyone feels.
Oh yeah. Speaking about inappropriate, the guy Leon Fearson, he had a character on All That called Noseboy. So picture a black kid with a big ass nose on him, and then he has two noses on both shoulders. But to the untrained eye, the nose on the shoulders look like a twig and berries on his shoulders. And Leon said, he said, "Man, I felt uncomfortable doing some of those sketches because I was always in leotards and tights and stuff, and I didn't really understand like why he was having me do this stuff. And till today, I don't even understand it. Like, honestly, the Noseboy, character, well, the sketch in general wasn't funny. Like, it wasn't funny at all. Like, I don't even remember laughing at the Noseboy sketches. So, let's continue.
Let's cut those jokes out of the show, just like I would have done 20 years ago or 25 years ago. I cut it. I want my shows to be popular. I want everyone to like it. The more people who like the shows, the happier I am. Yeah. So if there's anything in a show that needs to be cut because it's upsetting somebody, let's cut it.
So I think it's big for you to say with your work, if it's viewed as that today, you don't have a problem.
Cut it. Cut it.
Wait a minute. I just thought of something, and it's okay. So the dude Boogie, his character's name on iCarly was T-Bone. That's an odd name to give a black character. Also, another odd thing that I brought up earlier with Brian Hearn, he was selling Girl Scout cookies as if he was selling drugs. What? Also, to the effect, Giovanni said it just wasn't Giovanni, it was Kyle Sullivan. I forgot the other chick's name, but it was some sketch where they would have to like gargle fake coffee. Like fake coffee was coming out of one tube, and they would have to run back and forth from the coffee to the sugar or whatever, because sugar was pouring out of one tube and then coffee was pouring out of another tube, but they was on like the opposite ends of the screen, so you just saw them like bouncing back and forth to both tubes, to the point you can see in the video and also in the sketch where they were spitting the sugar out, and their spit was coming out in like thick chunks, and it looked disgusting. But that's pretty weird though that I just now thought of that, especially Dan Schneider was putting Keenan and Nick Cannon in dresses, because Keenan Thompson had a character named Miss Piddlin that loved to give kids peas, and if you didn't like peas, she would start like smoking or whatever because she was getting hot, and she was trying to show that the kids that you're supposed to eat your peas and all this other craziness. And then there was another sketch with Keenan and Nick Cannon where they played like gas station attendants, and they were like ghetto chicks. They had the long nails, the weaves, the makeup, the lashes, and they were just acting like ghetto girls. And I didn't find that shit funny at all. And mind you, me watching this, like I was young and I didn't find dudes in a dress funny. Like the Miss Piddlin sketches were funny, but that sketch with Nick Cannon and Keenan, I didn't think were funny, because at this time Kel wasn't on the show anymore. Kel left, so me trying to look at the dynamics between Nick and Keenan, like it didn't really mesh well. I didn't think that they were the dynamic duo like Keenan and Kel was. Like Kel was still on the Keenan and Kel show, but Kel just left the left all that because I don't know, maybe he felt like it was his time to go. Maybe he got fired or something like that. Who knows? But I don't know, man. Let's keep going with this.
I mean, that's a solution.
The last thing I want to ever do is put any content in a show that's going to upset my audience and make them want to turn off the TV. Why would I ever want to do that?
That makes sense. I want to give you an opportunity to kind of elaborate on something.
Okay.
The thought process from the series is you had the power to just write a joke, and no matter what, it's going on TV. You just had that type of power. Is that true?
The notion that I had the power to just produce whatever I wanted and have it air is completely false.
Okay.
There were many, many levels of scrutiny. Okay. We had executives in LA. We had executives in New York.
So two coasts.
Two coasts
okay.
of approval. Coasts. Yes. And by the way, approval at every stage, really.
Okay.
And I'm talking about wardrobe. I'm talking about makeup, sound, sets, dialogue, jokes, everything.
Now, when you say approval, these obviously that's a hierarchy, not your colleagues or people in the room. Okay.
No, not my colleagues. No, these are my bosses, and then their bosses, and then their bosses, and they're approving all of this stuff.
Okay.
Okay. And we're also shooting it in front of all sorts of adults and caregivers and the set teacher and the families. Everybody's watching it. And if anybody had said anything, hey, we don't like that, that's not appropriate, then it would have been cut out.
Now, I'm gonna push back a little bit because the series painted you in this way that you were just the guy that was doing what he wanted. and people were afraid to confront you about things. So say, just humor me, say that was the case. What would have been the ultimate way to...
Okay, if nobody on the set, if all of the dozens and dozens of adults that were on the set, if they didn't say anything, if my bosses said, if they insisted, you got to make a change here, you got to cut that, I had to do it. I had no choice.
Got it. Now this next one, it kind of hit close to home. Being a new father, I wouldn't be opposed to my child being in the entertainment industry. Doesn't matter what age, yeah? Seeing some of those on-air dares, seeing it now from where you are now in your life, what do you think of that?
I think that some of the on-air dares went too far. I think they pushed the envelope too far. Not all of them, not most of them, but some did.
Now, the only question I have for that is, was Dan, well, the second iteration with, let me get those cast members up real fast. Let's just do all that casts. So the second iteration of the show was Chelsea Brummett, Jack DeCena, Mark Saul, Kirkwood Smith. I have no idea. He's an older dude. I don't know who he played. Lisa Foyles, Shane Lyons. I don't believe. Okay, Shane Lyons. Christina Kirkman, Jamie Lynn Spears, and I believe that's it. So that was the second iteration, along with Giovanni Samuels and Brian Kern. Those were the other cast members of the second iteration of the show. So Dan basically brought back all that, and then he was the head. He was the creative body of it. He also served as a writer. So, whose idea was it to do a Fear Factor style of show? Was it another writer, or did you have the idea of, well, we have all of these great shows on television and Fear Factor is really blowing up. How about we do something similar to that? So, like, what happens after that? Like, is there a way that, we can figure that out? Like, Dan had to approve it. You got kids being covered in peanut butter. You got live scorpions going 13-year-olds' mouths, and amongst other things too. Like, a lot of other stuff was going on. So what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? So with that, what else was said? Oh, this gives everybody's this gives everybody's years that they were on the show. Huh. The third iteration of the show, I didn't like it. Well, I was grown when it came on, but like usually if like a show that I used to watch when I was a kid comes back on, like I want to see like the first few episodes of how they're going to like make it better, like what's different about it and stuff like that. Like I want to see like what they're going to do with it all and how, like what might they may change about like the situations and stuff like that. But yeah, all right, let's back out of that. We don't need that anymore. All right, so we're going to probably do like, I don't know, 2 more, maybe 3 more minutes of this, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Getting a little late.
Nickelodeon wanted to do their version of Fear Factor. At the time we were shooting All That, so I was tasked with doing these on-air dares with the All That cast. So we get with the writers and we come up with all these ideas.
All right, so the executives are at fault. Makes sense.
And it's hard to do because we don't have the budget of Fear Factor, and we can't put the kids in dangerous situations like the adults are put in. So it was hard to come up with stuff. But we would come up with all these ideas of dares they could do. We would give them to the network, and they would say, tell us the ones that were okay. Right. Those are the ones we shot. Those are the ones that aired. At the time, I had no indication that any kid ever had a problem with them. But when I was watching the show over the past 2 nights, I now know that there were kids who did have problems with the on-air dares. And
one of the kids was saying it out loud. I don't like this. So you just ignore his cries. Like, the boy said he didn't want to do it. So why have him continue? Like, this shit makes no sense.
It breaks my heart. And I'm so sorry. I am so sorry to any kid who ever had to do a dare or anything that they didn't want to do or weren't comfortable doing. We went out of our way to make sure they were safe and that everything was done properly. But if a kid was scared and didn't want to do it, kids shouldn't have had to do it. Yeah. Period. The end. Right. And if I had known at the time, I would have changed it on the spot.
Now, we also saw the series highlight 2 former writers' viewers, 2 women, who spoke about a wage discrepancy. Now, I know that you don't divvy out salaries.
All right, that's not important. I went over that already.
Movie I ever made for Nickelodeon, which starred Kenan and Kel, and every show I did after that had a...
Saw you be honored for how my experience was with you clear. I'm never series.
Another show where it was a male and a female writer, and they split a
black actors who said that they
first gig.
Got it. Now in the series, they also highlighted 2 black actors who said that they felt overlooked. Now I want to be clear. I'm never going to speak on anyone else's journey. Yeah, I can talk about my experience, how my experience was with you, what I saw prior to working with you. But again, I don't want to speak on anyone's journey. I saw you be honored for diversity in your work.
Yes, and the reason for that is diversity has always been very important to me in my shows. If you go back to the very first Nickelodeon show I ever made, that's very evident, as it is in the second one, and then the first movie I ever made for Nickelodeon, which starred Kenan and Kel, and every show I did after that had a lead black actor in it. I'm very proud of that. It's very important to me. And not only am I proud that they were in my shows, I'm exceptionally proud of the achievements they've had beyond my shows, and they've gone on to bigger and better things, and that gives me a great sense of pride.
Well, something that really kind of bothered me was how they depicted your relationship with the cast.
Yeah, it bothered me too.
Yeah, just me being there, I knew the dynamic was trust. I understood that in situations where they may have had turmoil, whether it be with their families, whether it be other castmates, they came to you. Versus how they made you look. With that said, Amanda Bynes was brought up in the series and her emancipation and how you were involved in that. Can you talk to us about it a bit?
Sure. Amanda was between the ages of 16 and 17, and she wanted to get emancipated from her parents, which was a fairly common thing with successful young actors, at least at the time.
Sure.
And she wanted that for herself. So she turned to her team, which included her lawyer, her agent, her manager, her publicist, me, because she included me as part of her team, thought of me that way. We supported her. She tried to get emancipated. It ended up not working out. She didn't.
Well, since we're here, let's stay here for a moment. There was also an incident where she had ran away from home, if you would. Can you talk to us a little bit just to clear the air of exactly what happened?
I believe, and I forgot all about that, and I believe in the show, they said that Amanda fled, when she ran away, she fled the dance house. Ironic, right? Oh shit.
Happen in that situation?
Yes. One night, it was very late, well after midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning. Phone rang. I answered. It was Amanda. She was upset. She was in distress. She had had some conflict with her parents, I think her father, and she called me. I was immediately concerned about her safety. I called someone who I knew was fairly nearby. That person was able to go and pick her up. Then I knew she was safe. I felt better. She ended up being taken to the police.
Well, regardless of what some people may think, I think it's only...
Okay, she got taken to the police, so I got the last part wrong. Or could I be right? I don't know. I don't remember what was said. Which I was supposed to rewatch the docuseries before I came on, so I could have all my information, or whatever, on hand. But I forgot all about it. But anyway, what's the next question? Because if the next question is a bunch of bullshit, then I'll just end it here.
Called someone who I knew was fairly nearby. That person was able to go and pick her up. Then I knew she was safe. I felt better. She ended up being taken to the police.
Well, regardless of what some people may think, I think it's only positive that you are there for people when they need you. That said, let's talk about some of the things that have just been swirling forever.
Okay.
All right, never mind. What we will stop, because this is the hot and juicy part. Pause. Hold on. Where's my pause button at?
Pause, nigga. We're banned from your set.
Never happened. That is a false rumor.
What happened?
Add it to the list of false
Talk
rumors.
to me. What happened?
They don't know, maybe, is I did everything I could to make that show go away. My producer partner at the time, we would call and say, this is not a good situation.
Okay.
So I decided I'm going to do what most showrunners do, which is you're not on the set. There's a director there to shoot it.
So this is him talking about the other show that he created for Amanda as the lead star, and he was basically told as well on iCarly not to be on the sets anymore, but in Victorious. But he also left the show that he developed for Amanda. He also stopped going to that set as well because of unknown reasons.
I'll go up to the writer's room. I'll work on the next script. But because everybody was so used to me caring about every detail of every show so much, for me not to be on the set, maybe some people thought I got banned.
So it was more of an assumption because this guy's usually here and now he's not.
I don't know if it was an assumption. I don't know if somebody thought they were making me look bad by saying I got banned from the set. I have no idea.
Okay.
All I know is I was never banned from the set.
Yep. The darkest part of this series discuss child predators. Now,
all right.
That you get out of here. I appreciate the vulnerability that you use in knowing that there's...
In that way, if a kid doesn't want to be on a TV show, they can opt out.
Yeah.
That psychologist, that therapist could come to us and say, and I talked, and he told me what had happened.
Here, and now he's not.
I don't know if it was maybe some people thought I got banned.
So it was...
No idea.
Okay.
All I know is I was never banned from the set.
Yep. The darkest part of this series discuss child predators. Now, I want to make sure that we clear a couple of things up.
Okay.
Brian Peck was not hired by you.
No, I did not hire Brian Peck.
This was a Tolan Rock.
But he knew Brian Peck, though. That's the crazy part. He knew Brian Peck. So, for him to say he didn't hire him, okay, cool. He didn't hire him. It was someone over top of him, maybe. Pause.
Pause, nigga.
And he probably didn't have anything to do with who was hired. Let's just say that.
Robbins production?
Yeah. And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. And I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need? Which Drake mentioned in the show that we watched last night. And next, I heard that he went to court when this guy was being tried, Peck, And when Drake walked in, he saw 50 people sitting on the side of the courtroom supporting Peck. A lot of them pretty famous. Of course, Drake was devastated that happened. And even more disappointing, 41 of those people wrote letters for Peck, character letters, praising him for who he was and asking for leniency. And they knew that he was guilty. They knew he had confessed to some degree, and they still did this. That's baffling that adults would do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people know this, but Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with words like you are. And would you help me with my speech for the judge? And I said, of course. And I did. And he ended up going to prison and serving his time. And yeah, that was probably the darkest part of my career. And here's the kicker that I really don't get. After he got out of prison and was, to my knowledge, a registered sex offender, he was hired on a Disney Channel show. I don't understand that. I don't understand.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing it.
Well, I guess we will only know the truth of what's came out of people's mouths, but evidence speaks. So maybe the Me Too movement comes back in full stride. Maybe we might get something else. Anyway, all 4 episodes of Quiet on Set, the Darkside of Kids TV, which premiered on March 17th, are out now on ID and streaming on Max and Prime Video. So, people, I will say what we learned today from all of this is that don't leave your kids with strangers. How about that? How about you stay your ass with your kids so they ain't gotta be diddled on like Diddy be diddling these rappers out here. Anyway, people, that was today's show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Show summary is basically soft parenting needs to go. We need to start putting hand to ass on kids again. And also, with that being said, get into the Dan Schneider's Bakery situation when it comes to these allegations and stuff like that. They got into some Jeanette McCurdy stuff. It isn't anything that she hasn't said herself out loud and through her books that she's written, and she did one video or several videos of her blaming Dan Schneider for certain things that happened to her in her life. So we can only take what's being said with a grain of salt and stuff like that. So people, how about we get into some promotions and we get on out of here. So let's start the theme music. And now, people, if you are hearing me, hear me well when I say this. Every Friday I do this here podcast called Marcus Speaks Live. You can catch me every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please don't be shy. Usually I have a stream that I do on Saturdays as well at 2:30, but that is on hiatus until I find the game that's suitable to play online. So don't forget to come and check me out, because you don't want to miss anything that I got going on. Hold on. And if you ever, or if you have already done so, if you haven't, subscribe to me right now. It's right down there somewhere. Subscribe to this here channel, hit the bell icon to all, then go to the description box find the Rumble link. If you don't have Rumble downloaded already, download the Rumble link. And then once you do that, follow me on Rumble so I can start simulcasting over there. I think I need like 25 subscribers over there so I can start doing that. So once that happens, I will be in full swing of what I want to do over there on Rumble. So if you ever want to come up here and come talk to me, you can. Hit the link only until I get this phone situation figured out, and then we'll go from there. But if you ever do any of those, it comes with rules. And rules are: rule number 1, you must be on camera at all times. That means here on the backstage. And if you want to be seen to the viewing audience, if you don't want to be shown on camera, that is fine. Please let me know with rules 1 and 2. When you come back here, there will be a private chat that is open for you guys to come and talk to. Come and let me know what you would like to do, be on camera or not be on camera. Don't make it a conversation back here. Just let me know what you want to do. And lastly, mute all background noise. Use wired headphones, please, for a better audio experience for myself and for the viewing audience. And if you have me turned on anywhere or turned up, please turn me off or turn me down. So there's no feedback, so we can get into the conversation that you would like to have with me. And with that being said, please like this video, subscribe if you're new here, hit that bell icon so you get all my notifications once I go live or when I post a video. Comment in the comment section once this video is done, and please share this video to your social medias, friends and family, and anywhere else. Scrolling tickers for you, read over that. I hope you've been looking somewhere on the screen of what I'm doing. But make sure you check that out. That's for you guys. But with that being said, people, please, let's get into some words of wisdom of the day. And those words of wisdom are, let's get to the money, because we all know money makes the world go round. That moolah, that cheddar, that cake, that chicken. Let's make sure we get to that money, because, you know, everybody's happier when they have money in their pocket. Drink more water for health purposes. You know, helps you lose weight, keeps you hydrated, stuff like that. So drink more water for health purposes. Mind your own damn business for mental health purposes. When you're in everybody else's business, you're taking on more problems that you can deal with, which lets you know that you're not dealing with yourself. So mind your own goddamn business. And as well, if you don't believe a damn thing I said tonight, do your own research. It helps you out in the long run. It's streaming, goddammit. Go on, watch it. So when I leave here tonight, I will be watching the Freaknik documentary, and I will be doing that review next week. So, people, with that being said, this has been Marcus Speaks Live. I have been Marcus. I thank y'all for watching, and I'll check you guys out next Friday. Peace out, y'all.